At the UK Open this year, Mitchell Thornton showed us the true power of the Sixth Samurai, a deck which got a major upgrade thanks to the increased power of Rage of the Abyss. In this video, I'm going to show you how the Sixth Samurai achieves an infinite loop that can do unlimited damage and create an unstoppable monster. This is a 3-step process to achieve basically anything you want in the game using one of the coolest archetypes around. Come with me and let's take a look. In order to make the infinite loop happen, we need to be able to get to these 5 cards. Now, it's important to note that Battle Shogun actually searches for Gateway, so essentially you just need to get to these 4, and Gateway itself will search for these 3. So in some way, you only really need to get to Battle Shogun, but the only way that Gateway is getting those searches is if you have a load of special summons. So how do you get to Battle Shogun? Well, you need 2 warrior monsters, including a 6 samurai monster. So once again, this all relies on the fact that you need to special summon a lot of 6 samurai monsters. So how do you do that? Well, we have some cards here which all allow you to special summon 6 samurai monsters. So the new Shi-En actually searches through the deck or graveyard to add to your hand a 6 samurai monster or a Shi-En effect monster. This will allow you to add some monsters that can special summon themselves, so in essence this allows you to get to a special summon. Shi-En's Dojo has an effect where you get to special summon from your main deck a 6 samurai or Shi-En effect monster. So another way that you can get one of the important names special summoned to the field, or even one of the unimportant names if you're going to just trigger Gateway and get more counters. And then the rest of these cards down here, these are just more ways to special summon. So Tactical Trainer and Anarchist Monk, both of these can special summon themselves if you control a 6 samurai monster other than their own name. And then Grandmaster and Legendary Samurai Kizan, these just summon themselves if you control a 6 samurai monster, just any number of them. And Kizan's effect to summon itself is unlimited. You could do this an infinite number of times in a turn, which will be pretty important. So let's take a look at the infinite part of the combo. So everything that we did previously is to get to this setup: a Shinai on board, a Battle Shogun on board, and a Gateway of the 6 on board. We're going to assume, for the purposes of doing all these calculations, that there are currently no Bushido counters, which is obviously ludicrous because we're going to have some. But let's just show you how the infinite loop works. So we start off with 0 counters. We're going to summon Mizuho. We get 1 here and 2 here, so that's 3 counters. We can then summon the Shinai. That's another 1 here and another 2 here. We're now on 6 counters. We use the effect of Mizuho. We tribute a 6 samurai monster, this one, and we target a card on the field and destroy it. Let's destroy the Mizuho. Because we tributed the Shinai, we get to add back the Mizuho. So we had 6 counters. We're now going to get some more. So we'll take 4 off this to add back the Shinai. So you can see this is exactly the same as the setup that we had at the start, except now we have 2 counters left available to play with. So we can repeat it again. Summon the Mizuho, we went from 2 to 5. Summon the Shinai, we went from 5 to 8. Effect, tribute, pop, add back, currently got 8, use 4 of them, now we're on 4, repeat again. Summon, we go to 7, summon, we go to 10, tribute, pop, add back, use 4 of them, so we go to 6, and you can see once again, same starting position as before, these guys on board, these 2 in hand, but we've gone from 0 counters to 6 counters by repeating the loop 3 times. So you can just keep doing this over and over again, summon, summon, tribute, pop, and now that we've demonstrated that it is a viable loop, we don't have to do it anymore. We can just say, hey, I'm going to do this 10 trillion times, or 1 Google times, or however many times you would like, but you can't say infinite because the game does not allow you to do that. But if you say a large enough number that you're going to be able to never run out of counters reasonably, that is then enough for us to do the damage dealing part of this combo. Or let's assume that we put a trillion counters on Gateway. We could then use a trillion of those to target a face-up 6 samurai or Shi-En effect monster and have it gain 500 attack. So we use 2 for each of those. So we could have this Shinai gain 500 billion attack times 500. So 250 trillion attack my Shinai has, plus this 1500 that it started with. You can do that with all of your monsters, and this is just the insane stuff. But now we've shown you the loop, let's go through the combo, which allows you to deal an unlimited amount of damage through the extra deck. So now that we have unlimited counters available to us, we can start doing cool stuff. One of the things we can do is search from our deck or graveyard some 6 samurai monsters. So we'll get 2 copies of Kizan and 1 copy of Tactical Trainer. We need this because it's a level 2 tuner that we're able to special summon with Sayuja later on, and we need this because it's just infinite float body that is level 4, so we can make rank 4s with it. So we'll kick off by just summoning the 2 Kizan because we control face-up 6 samurai monsters with different names for Kizan. We can then overlay these two to summon a cowboy. That does the first 800 damage. So now we just have to do this 9 more times. Seems pretty straightforward, right? So we can add this back for free and then summon it again. And then we need to get the cowboy into the graveyard. Now I'm going to assume there's nothing else in this graveyard. So let's start off by going for a big old link summon. And we will go for 1, 2, 3, 4. We will go for a big Sayuja. We can then start adding these guys back because they're all 6 samurai monsters in the graveyard, and we have a huge number of tokens to play around with, and we're going to get more because look, there are some more, there are some more, there are some more. Get to summon all of these guys for free. We're going to make a second Sayuja because I need to get 3 monsters into the graveyard, ignoring the Battle Shogun that we can play around with. So let's go for these guys again. That's 4 materials. And that is another Sayuja, and then we can add all of these guys back again because we have unlimited counters to play with, or essentially unlimited counters to play with. And then we can summon them all out again. Let's get Kizan and these 2. Right, so at this point, I still don't want to make my Daigusto because I want to get my second Sayuja, so I'm just going to make a third Sayuja just to simplify things for my sake. Let's make the third Sayuja, add everything back, and summon them all out again. Okay, so now at this point, in the graveyard, importantly, we have 2 copies of Sayuja and a Gagaga Cowboy. These are the 3 cards that we want to shuffle back with the Daigusto Emerald, which we can make now, overlay these 2 for a Daigusto Emerald, detach the Kizan, and shuffle back those 3 that I just mentioned. Now, we've put back the Cowboy, but we need a way to loop through this Emerald. So the way that that is done is by bringing out a Cyframe Lord Omega, which we can actually do pretty straightforward because we summon this Sayuja and haven't used its effects to summon during the main phase. We can use it to summon the Tactical Trainer. If you had not already summoned the Tactical Trainer, you can actually use its effect once to summon itself, but we need to be able to do this an unlimited number of times, or at least 9 more times, so we'll just do it this way around. We can use these 3 to synchro summon for an Omega. We're not going to use its effect, we're just going to add stuff back again, and we're going to put some more names on the board, and then we're going to perform a link summon. We have to use the Omega, we have to use the Daigusto Emerald, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, and why not 4 to go into this Sayuja that we just put back. We can then add back the 6 samurai names, and then at this point we can use the effect of the Omega in the graveyard to put itself and the Daigusto Emerald back into the extra deck. Right, so this is very similar to where we kicked off this loop, but a very slight difference is this is now here instead of the Battle Shogun, so I'll show you it once more because there's so many steps in this. So we'll do some more summons. We'll go Kizan and Shinai because we control the Mizuho. These 2 we can turn into the Cowboy to do the second lot of 800 damage. And then having done that, we can add this back and we can summon it again, and then we need to make a link summon for the third Sayuja because we want to put the Kizan into the graveyard, so we'll just use 1, 2, 3, and 4 materials. We'll bring out the third Sayuja, add back all the guys from the graveyard, summon the 2 Kizans again, and then use these 2 to make the Emerald, and then the Emerald effect can put back, once again we want to put back Sayuja, and Gagaga Cowboy. Put these 3 back. This is very similar to where we were before. We can add stuff back, we can do some more summons. We then need to, actually can't summon this one, we need to use Sayuja to summon this because we want to make the next Cyframe Lord Omega. Add everything back, summon everything again. Can't summon the Tactical Trainer again because this is the Sayuja that we've already used. And now we need to get this stuff into the graveyard again, so once again we use this for a link summon. We've put back a yugioh so we can go into another yugioh. And then we can add back the Keysans from before. We can use the Omega to put back the Emerald. And we're in the same place as before. We go Keysan, Keysan, third time summoning the Cowboy. And hopefully you can see at this point, this is the basic loop. So this has been a quick guide on how to do some of the coolest combos around with the legendary 6 Samurai deck. I think it's really cool the way that the deck has been boosted up with the addition of some new cards in Rage of the Abyss. Make sure that you check out the feature matches that were shared for the UK Open. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.